93.1 Fresh Radio. Good morning. It's 8:39. Welcome back from the Canada Day holiday. Hope it was a good one for you. A chilly start to the morning at 13 right now. Some sunshine and a few clouds. Looking at 20 for the afternoon high. So, for the last few years, a very large number of folks here in Barrie have been concerned about the impending closure of Barrie Central Collegiate, one of the oldest high schools in Simcoe County and the only high school Barrie has downtown. Travis Doucette is a graduate of BCC and a good friend of our show, and he's been involved with those who are trying to save the school from closure, or at the very least, save the building, and he joins us in studio now. Good morning, Travis.
Hey, Ben, good morning. Thanks for having me.
So let's start at the very beginning. Who made the decision to close Barrie Central Collegiate next June, and what were the reasons that were given?
Right, yeah. So the trustees in 2014 voted to close the school based on a number of factors, one of them being that the school is old. It desperately needs a lot of renovations to it and has been neglected for many, many years. And it was thought by the trustee board at the time that it would be better interest in our students that a new school be built in the South End and that one be closed and consolidated to other schools in Barrie.
Mm-hmm. And you're a graduate of BCC.
I am.
Congrats. What year did you graduate?
Class of 2000,
All
millennium.
Right.
Yeah.
So your name's on the wall, I'm sure, with the graduate photos.
Somewhere in there, yes.
And why do you feel that this school is such an important part of our community?
Well, I just think it's vital to have a school in the downtown area. You know, the province has slated the downtown area to be one of the key areas of growth in the next 20 years. They really anticipate 35 to 40% of Barrie's growth to be happening in that downtown area. And the area is being cultivated for that. So it just seems foolish to close a school. Who's going to want to move to a downtown area when there's not any type of institution there? And, you know, looking at some of the facts leading up to this, you know, it's just unfortunate the way that things have panned out, because there have been a number of occasions where the school really could have been saved. And I feel as though some of the information that the trustees were given when they chose to close the school back in 2014 has now proved to be inaccurate. And a lot of that has been seen by some recent documents that leaked out of the school board showing what's called a request for proposal. And this was a response to this proposal, and the YMCA and Georgian College wanted to go together, and they wanted to plan to build a state-of-the-art institution in downtown Barrie, and that proposal was rejected by the trustees and the school board at the time. And the interesting thing about this document that is leaked is that the reasons why we were told that this was rejected seem to be counter to what is actually spoken of in the document. One of the things being that it was important that the project be cost neutral, that it didn't cost the school board anything. And the document itself says that it was cost neutral. And probably even more alarming than that is we have trustees who were on the board at the time that are saying that they never saw this document. So it makes you wonder if they made the decision to close the school with limited information or perhaps concealed information.
We're chatting with Travis Doucette and talking about the impending closure of Barrie Central Collegiate. I guess officially, as it stands right now, just one more year, and then they're planning on closing
one more year,
in June.
June 2016.
So what do you think would be some of the best uses for the school? I mean, if the building was to be preserved, assuming that the school were to be shut down, what do you think could be done with the building or the land, as far as all of the ideas that you've heard thrown around?
Yeah, well, I want to be very clear, and the public should know that I'm not on a kick to save a building. I think we need an educational institution. You know, even if they were to bulldoze the building and put up something, I think Barrie's downtown core needs something. And that's been something that our mayor's been very clear about as well. So that would be my number one chief concern, is that we have an institution, that the Simcoe County District School Board realizes that it's in the best interest of the people in Barrie that we have a school downtown.
I think up until recent years, it seems like people have been leaving the downtown core, and I mean, the South End has been sprawling, of course.
Absolutely.
But as you've been mentioning, the whole revitalization plan is going to kind of reverse that trend over the next number of years.
Absolutely, and if you look at the way that they're cultivating Bradford Street and some of the, you know, the development that's happening there, they're totally preparing for the area to be revitalized, and that's something that our mayor and that our city councilors have been very clear on. So it just seems natural that we should have a school down there, an institution down there.
Okay, well, I know a number of groups have been formed. There have been some meetings and rallies. There was one a number of months ago, I know, that met. What has been kind of the goal of the people that have been kind of coming together to rally some support here?
Well, yeah, the goal has really been to educate people. We have some very deep concerns with how the school board has handled this situation. Some very deep concerns with the way that some trustees have postured themselves. I want to believe that they've made a decision in good faith, but you know, we're now realizing that they've been making decisions with limited or concealed or even perhaps manipulated information. And I think it's important that the public be aware of that. The public can get in touch with one of three of their trustees, two who are very active and accessible, Kathleen Akins and Jennifer Cameron. Wonderful to contact them. But I think that any person in Barrie that has a high school student that's going to be going into high school in the next couple of years, whether they live in the downtown core or not, needs to be aware of this issue because it affects the other schools.
Yeah.
And we're currently, we have a school that's slated to open in the South End that is again going to be delayed, most recently because the school board has neglected Barrie's urban planning guidelines, and they are now set back and have to have the design of the school completely redesigned. Yeah. So this is going to affect a lot of students in multiple areas. They're planning to put 20 portables on Innisdale's property, and they're planning to do an expansion project at Barrie North Collegiate, all so that Central can be closed. And one kind of shrugs their shoulders and say, why not keep the school open until the new South End school is ready? So anybody with a high school student, in grade 7, grade 8, that's going to go into high school in the next couple of years, really needs to take interest in this issue, needs to read up on it, and needs to get in touch with one of their Barrie trustees.
Okay, thanks, Travis, for coming in. Is there a website or Facebook page?
Absolutely. Look us on Facebook at Save Barrie Central 2015.
All right, thanks for coming on the show. We really
so
appreciate it. 8:45.